You're an animal lover, would you say?
Yes, I would, yes.
Are there any animals you love specifically, or is it all animals
All animals,
collectively?
but particularly, I've always had pet cats, only because we didn't have the time to walk dogs, otherwise I would have liked a dog, but couldn't have a dog, so I had a cat instead.
Sorry to interrupt this video, but I thought that I'd say this woman ends up getting very angry, and there's a bit that isn't seen in the video that makes everything better. Wait till the end where I explain that she actually comes back and we have an interesting conversation.
Why do you love animals, specifically other animals?
Because for the most part, animals love you unconditionally. They don't judge. If you're kind to them, and even if you're not in some instances, they will love you back. Dogs in particular will love their owner, even if their owners are horrible to them.
Yeah.
Which is wrong, but there you go. Cats are a bit more fussy. They've got a bit more brains. If you're nasty to them, they tend to go off and live with somebody else. But basically, yeah.
And what would you say is a loving thing to do to an animal?
Just to look after one as a pet. Feed it properly so as it doesn't get fat, but it's properly nourished. Take it out for walks if it's a dog. Exercise it properly. Give it a nice bed to sleep in.
What would you say are unloving things to do to animals?
People who set gin traps. People who chase foxes.
Fox hunting,
People who chase hares. Tear them to pieces for no very good reason. Say all those things were cruel.
So you would be anti-hunting foxes?
I'm anti-hunting foxes. I think they can drag race all they want. If they want to drag a piece of cloth around the countryside and chase after it, that's fine by me. But I don't like the idea of foxes being hunted now.
Yeah.
Because their death can be very unpleasant.
Very unpleasant. And so an interesting question is, what do you think about the meat, dairy and egg industries, for example? Have you ever had a thought about those and how they might not necessarily be very loving to animals?
Well, that's true. I'm not a vegetarian. I do eat meat, I do eat eggs, I do drink milk, and eat dairy produce. And I think my reasoning behind it is, if you look at a human being's set of teeth and digestive tract, we are designed to be omnivores. We are designed to eat some meat. Our teeth are such as, and our digestive tract actually demands that we do eat some meat. Well, if you're just going to be a vegetarian, you've got to go about it very carefully to make sure you're properly nourished. And I think, therefore, it's okay to eat them as long as they are kept properly, they are happy whilst they're alive, that their death is humane and as painless and as stress-free as possible, and that you use every scrap of the animal you've just killed.
Okay, so if we talk about the humane example, what does humane mean?
Kind.
Kind. So do you think there's a kind way to kill an individual who doesn't want to die?
No.
No.
But having said that, the alternative is if you're going to chase animals in the wild and kill them to eat them, that's probably worse than having a domesticated animal, which could go to its death fairly innocuously. I'm not saying they all do, but in theory, at any rate, it's possible to do it. I mean, if you think of vets who put down, say, horses that have got twisted barrels, and they go out, and the horse doesn't know it's coming, and it puts it out of its pain and misery. Theoretically, you could slaughter animals for meat like that. Whether they do or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose I think of it in the human context. Like, say, if I was sleeping and someone killed me in my sleep, they've still killed me. So they've still done an inherently wrong thing.
Well, it's just a matter of opinion. I think either you want to eat animals or you don't.
Yeah.
And if you do eat animals, you have to accept that animals are slaughtered for that point. We don't wait till they're old and die of old age.
No, they're babies, essentially.
Yes, they are. And in some cases, it's because they're male.
Yeah, like day-old chicks for the egg industry, killed immediately.
And calves for the veal industry.
Yeah.
Well, not as we have veal in this country, I don't think. But
yeah, the boys can't produce milk, so they're killed.
No.
Yeah.
You only need one male for an awful lot of females, so the other males get slaughtered.
Yeah, and I want to reassure you that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the largest board of dietitians, states that plant-based diets are suitable for all stages of life. That includes pregnancy, infancy.
I'd argue with that, and I was a scientist.
You're a scientist. Well, were you a dietitian?
No,
No.
I was a chemist.
Oh,
I was
chemist.
a biochemist. So I would argue with that. I would say, yes, it's possible, but it's very difficult.
In what way would you say it would be difficult?
Your biggest problem, I think, I would say possibly, well, protein, yes, there's plant protein, but meat is very rich in protein. And iron, meat is very rich in iron, particularly red meat. But it doesn't have to be red meat, any meat's rich in iron. And I think If you're having a purely vegetarian diet, you've really got to pay attention for iron. And it's not as easy. I know there's iron in spinach and other things, but it's much harder to get it extracted from the spinach and into you than it is to extract the iron which there is in meat, which is much more easy to extract.
Yeah, luckily we have supplements, and you talked about protein as well.
And
And
supplements,
yeah,
but then
yeah.
is that natural to have a supplement?
Well, it's not natural to breed animals and kill them in farms, is
It's
it?
more natural than eating supplements made of chemicals. You don't know where they've come from or what they are.
Well, you're a chemist, you know that they're safe, right?
Not necessarily. You name me a drug that doesn't have side effects.
Yeah, just because it has side effects doesn't mean that it's beneficial to take it.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, but you can't name a single drug that doesn't have side effects. Yes, they can be beneficial, but every drug has downsides.
Eating food has a side effect.
Yes, it does. I mean, if you eat too much of any one thing, you might be ill.
But-
I
but
think
inherent-
This interview is going nowhere now. I believe you can eat meat, you don't, and that's the end of the
Well,
story.
you can do it. I just think it's weird to call yourself an animal lover if you're paying for them to be stabbed or gassed or have the bulk
That's
gun.
your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't want you to use this interview, please. Just delete the whole thing, please. Now.
So as you saw, she felt a certain type of way. She felt blindsided. I had a sign that said animal lovers interview here. She was like, oh, what's this about? I was like, I'm asking animal lovers some questions about loving things and unloving things to do to animals. So I didn't think she'd feel fully blindsided or anything. And it's kind of interesting because how these things play out, a lot of people already know where this is going to go. So you can see them walking away and not even participating because they have an understanding of what sort of conversation they're going to have. But she ends up coming back, and what you don't see in the video is she's saying, like, if you don't delete this video, I'll sue you. She was coming up to my camera woman and she was like, have you deleted it? Have you deleted it? So yeah, she got really angry and walked off. But then she came back and she was like, you can use the footage. I have no excuse for acting that way. And I wanted to share that with you because, you know, we ended up having a conversation and she could see the merit of why I was standing out there having the conversations with people, because she was like, yeah, you just don't really think about it, do you? And I said, that's why I'm here. And it reinforced that I want to personally, obviously people have different methods of doing things, but I want to personally remain cool, calm and collected as much as possible. Because I think if I had gone to the level and been as rude, because I asked her, did you think I was rude? And she said no, then I think she wouldn't have come back. So yeah, it was interesting to watch this psychology play out, and I hope you found this video interesting. But while I have you here, if you haven't got active already, then go outside with a camera and film yourself having conversations. No, they're not going to go down well. Yes, you're going to be nervous. Yeah, you're not going to feel proud of yourself all the time, but go out there and have these conversations because they're really important. You'll feel a bit silly when you're doing it, but even when they go quite badly, there is a real significance to the animals to have these conversations. So yeah, I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you're well, and until next time, salads, I will see you soon.